Hello, how's it going? We are back with another weekly update for Hiking for Health California. If you don't know already, I'm Todd. If you don't know that, you should go back and see a bunch of the other stuff I've done because that's really where I explain who I am and what's going on here. But here we are for the week of June 25th. And of course, we're going to start right off like we usually do with the weight loss update. And I am now at a weight of 276.8, and so from last week that is a loss of 0.8 pounds, so almost 1 pound. That's better than last week's loss, which was almost half a pound. So we're getting back to like I say, I want to try and lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. We're still trying to get back to a pound, but we're still losing, which is better than plateauing or gaining and all that kind of stuff. So there we go. So that is a total so far since the very beginning back in January of 28.2 pounds lost. So almost 30 pounds lost. And for those of you, again, if you're starting in the middle of this and you haven't gone back, and I'm shooting for right around 200 pounds. I haven't figured out exactly where I'm going to stop right there. I don't know if it's going to be 210. I don't know if it's going to be 190. It kind of depends on how I feel, how I look, all that kind of stuff. But right around 200 is right now my goal. So almost 30 pounds lost, 28.2 pounds lost. This week a loss of 0.8 pounds. Cool. There's some blue jays doing some crazy things in my yard. That's kind of cool. Let's see, getting on to the rest of the update last week, I was shooting to get 10 miles done as far as some kind of hiking and walking, and I succeeded. What do you know? I got out twice, once on the Bear Creek White Slough little loop that's out there, so that was 5 miles, and once on the Atherton to Paradise Point Marina and back, and that's another 5 miles, 10 miles. So I got out twice. 2 5-mile, I'm not going to call them hikes because I'm very lightly loaded there. I mean, I'm basically just carrying water and a light snack for those hikes. And they are just, straight, no elevation changes for the most part. Straight, levee road type of thing. So it's more like a training walk. But I mean, it's miles in, it helps with the weight loss, and it gets my miles going. I kind of commented to my wife last week, it's sometimes I feel a little, I'm watching these video blogs of these Pacific Crest Trail through hikers that are doing 20-mile days, 25-mile days. Days. One day they've done 20 miles or more. Some of the ones who are doing less than that, it's because they're in the snow. They're trudging through snow, they're doing 10 miles, 15 miles. And I'm over here trying to do 10 miles in a week. But, one step at a time. I'm kind of aiming that way. Right now, my schedule isn't going to allow me to just go out and do a 20-mile day anyway, because, that's an all-day hike. Even if I were in decent shape. But once I got to a place to go on a big hike like that and hiked around and stuff, that's an all-day thing. And right now, I cannot take the entire day. I pretty much have mornings if I wanted it to go and do some hiking, and that's what I've been doing. There will be the occasional time where I can go and I'm just going to tell the family, here's where I'm going to be, and be gone for the day and take some longer hikes. I will get there, but for now, I'm just not quite there. But there it is. I'm happy with my progress. I got 10 miles in for the week, a couple of good outings, and I'm going to keep that going. And speaking of keeping that going, that's what I'm shooting for this week, is at least 10 miles in the week. Again, I don't know if that's going to come in the form of several outings of 3 to 4 miles each, 2 outings of 5 like I did last week, or one where I get out there and do a longer hike, because that's one of the things I'm going to look into, probably research tonight, is once again go back to Round Valley, East Bay Regional Preserve. Because again, just that one little East Bay Park, and there's another one close to it, the Black Diamond Mines Park, that once you're there are a bunch of trails that you can just go out on. So it's pretty amazing. So thinking about going back to Round Valley because both times now you start out on the Miwok Trail and then you split to go on the different trails. Well, if you follow the Miwok Trail all the way through Round Valley Regional Park, it gets to the boundary of the park and actually goes through into another regional park. And so you can follow that out to the Vaqueros, I think it is, Vaquero or Vaqueros watershed reservoir and back. And that's like at a 10 or 11 mile hike. Excuse me. Or you can get into another little park that goes a little further out towards Mount Diablo and then it comes back. So there's some choices out there for some longer hikes that actually take you out and back and things like that. So I'm thinking about maybe doing one of those tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on how my schedule works out. So I'm not sure, but at least 10 miles is my goal again for this week. And I forgot to mention it last week. I got out to REI to get some stuff because I have found now that I've gotten back into this. One of my goals is to get out, hopefully a couple of times this summer, actual backpacking, not just day hiking. I've been having a great time day hiking, by the way. I'm just definitely not poo-pooing that. Day hiking is a lot of fun. There's some cool stuff to do around here. There's some awesome stuff up in the mountains and the foothills that I haven't even got to yet. Some more East Bay Regional Parks over this way, west of me. I know you don't know what that means. That's west. That's east. But a lot of cool stuff. So day hiking is fun. But one of the things I've just always just really, when I was younger anyway, got into big time was just backpacking. Being out there, carrying your food, and you're out there. I mean, you're in, the wilderness, and just you're carrying everything you need, and you're doing it, and that has always been an amazing thrill for me. I want to get back into that. I'd like to do it at least once this summer, but ultimately I'd like to do it more than that. My little brother has gotten a hold of me, and we are tentatively planning one. He and his son are going to go out in August to an area where basically I learned how to backpack up near the Donner Tahoe area, and I'm going to hopefully be able to join them. I'd like to do a trip before that. But anyway, what all this is leading up to, see, I'm rambling again. I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes. I'm not going to make it because there I go again. When I started looking at my backpacking equipment, the newest stuff that I have is still about 10 years old or more. And I think it still works. My backpack is still, it's an internal frame. It's the first internal frame I ever owned. All the rest of my equipment from way back when I was in my 20s, way back when I was backpacking in the 80s and the early 90s, those are all external frame packs and stuff like that. And I'll tell war stories later about, in my day, we packed with 80-pound backpacks and we were proud to have it down that low. Anyway, but so it's decent equipment, but it is older, so I'm looking at a lot of new stuff and finding that, wow, I got to update my stuff. And there's a few things now that you kind of need to have that weren't required back in the day, and they really didn't have them back in the day. And so one of the things I was able to do is last week I got to REI and looked around and stuff like that. I had done a lot of research, and I picked up my personal water filtration system, and I decided to go with the Sawyer Mini. I'll probably be doing a gear report on that, because I'm going to work that kind of stuff into the channel too and things like that. So the Sawyer Mini just seems like it's a good system, mostly because of its versatility. I know a lot of the reports mention how it can kind of clog. You use it for 1 or 2 days and then you've got to back flush it and clear it out. It clogs easily, but it sounds like it's very easy to back flush, very easy to clean. But I liked it because of the versatility. You can use it like a straw and drink directly from the source if you want to. You use it as a squeeze to get water out. And it works with almost any bottle you're going to want to work with. And you can actually splice your tube if you're one of the ones. I'm not really one that does this, but if you have a hydration pack in your backpack with the tube and stuff like that, you can splice the little filter into that line, and so you can drink directly from that. So there's just a lot of things you can do with it. I like that versatility. It is small, and it's economical. For something like 30 bucks, I got two. Because REI was selling a 2-pack. That's pretty darn good. And it supposedly, we'll see, Sawyer claims that each one is good for about 100,000 liters, or gallons. Wow, you know what I mean? That's a lot of water. And I have 2 of them, so that should definitely last me the summer or more. So I decided to go with that one as my primary. Now I always think it's smart to have a backup, and one of the backups I'm looking at is probably the chemical thing. If worse comes to worse, I'm going to get probably whatever the chloride is, or chlorine, or whatever it is that they sell, as a backup, just in case. And the other thing that I picked up that I have never owned before is a bear vault. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a little bear-proof container made of hard plastic. That it takes special machinations to get it open. So supposedly a bear can't do it. Although I hear tale that there's a bear back on the Appalachian Trail that knew how to do it. Figured it out. But things that we didn't really have when I was backpacking, again, way back in the day. But the area that I usually backpack in the Sierras, excuse me, the Tahoe National Forest, Desolation Wilderness, that area, all around Lake Tahoe, that area there. Yosemite is just east of me. A lot of those places, it's required now. You have to have it. And the places where it's not required, it is strongly recommended. In other words, the ranger won't give you a ticket, but you're flirting with problems if you don't have one, because there are bears in the area. And I'm watching the PCT hikers, and they're going through a little north of us in the Sierra and stuff like that, and they're all running into bears. The bears are active this year because of the weather and stuff like that. They're out there. And I know from backpacking, I have seen from a distance bears before. I know they're in the Tahoe Donner area. I've seen them. And all the campgrounds around Lake Tahoe, if you go to DL Bliss or any of those campgrounds, they have bear lockers in the campgrounds with very strict rules that no food is just to be lying around camp. You have to have, any food stays in that locker unless you're actively eating it. And so they're in that area where I backpack. And so I'm pretty sure it is now required in that area that I usually go backpacking, but even if it's not, I decided I should have one. Because all the areas I usually backpack, I know there's bears. So I picked up one of those. So I'll be doing gear reviews on those 2 things to see how it works once I break them out, and because you always got to test these things before you go backpacking, and I'll be doing stuff like that. So I'm doing that, and I'm slowly but surely working on new equipment. The first thing I bought was my hiking shoes, and I've been happy with those. I still haven't done a gear report, and I've used them long enough now where I really should do a gear report on it. And I'm happy with them so far. Got the water system, the Bear Vault, and I think we should cut it out. We're almost at 15 minutes already. I don't know. Holy mackerel! And I haven't really blathered on too much, have I? There's actually been stuff to talk about. So there it is. Doing good in the weight loss, almost a pound lost. Got in 10 miles. Looking forward to 10 miles this week, and picked up some more equipment. Still researching. If anybody has any suggestions, feel free to give them to me, and I always take suggestions. But there we go. This one's a little bit longer because we actually had some things to talk about. Looking forward to hopefully getting out somewhere to film some new stuff, and that way have some more content besides me just talking to you through the camera here. Like I say all the time, I'm trying to get more stuff. I still have that one tick safety thing. I really want to do that because it's important. It's the season now. It's just a matter of sitting down and filming the stuff to go with a lot of the other things that I have to put into it. And that's about it. You know what? Thanks a lot, you guys, for your support. I appreciate it very, very much. And I hope you're all having a good summer so far. And I will catch you next week.